Evening YouTube, hope everyone's good. Now, I put a couple of premieres out, I'm going to be putting some more out. Now, these conversations that have happened in multiple communities have been basically to try and prevent where we are now. Realistically, there should always be a middle ground for the things that different communities can agree on. Now, don't get me wrong, I think there has been some middle ground found between communities, things that we can agree on, but unfortunately nothing's really been built on that ground. Now, these conversations that could have been built on, do you know what I mean? We could have had another movement put in place or whatever, instead of just what we seem to have at the moment, that a lot of people have got complaints about, and now everyone's crying that, oh, reform's in fucking power, and all the Muslims are feeling like they're not welcome. Well, whose fault is that, realistically? We've had 40 years plus of cover-ups to the ongoing rape epidemic. It started off with the fuck are you doing? You're just making your own lane up there. Not bad. Yeah, we've had 40 years of cover-ups of the ongoing rape epidemic, and Muslims chose to do one of two things: either just stay silent, which isn't a good look because it looks like you're complicit and you're okay with these things. And then we've got the people that have, from the Muslim community, that have spoke out just to point their fingers at people that are actually speaking out about it, even from their own community, and to cast these people as racist. Now, we've all seen the shit that went on with Lubna. And Lubna was Candid with Lubna was just calling out the bad apples and the bad behaviour. And we've seen all the attacks that she's gone through, and it's not just from people in her own community. Look at the scumbags that call themselves patriots that have joined in with the attacks. Do you know what I mean? It's just not a good look, realistically. And when you've got people in all different communities that are partaking in that, it's like, well, can you be surprised now, this far forward, when the general public have seen what's gone on, the epic failures from the government, the police, the people that are put in power to stop these things going on, to actually fucking do their job. And instead of that, we've had 40 years plus of just covering up, and quite happy to jump all over anybody that is pointing these problems out. Now, that'll only take you so far. That will only take you so far, to the point where the general public, which we're at that position now, that are seeing the absolute failures and the complicit behaviour that allows this shit to carry on and on and on. Now, when you do that for so long, you can't really be surprised when the general public actually think, right, okay, they're blatantly ignoring this shit, and people are taking measures into their own hands to protect their communities, whether that be standing outside hotels highlighting the problem, whether that be one of the many groups which have popped up the amount of groups that have popped up all over the country to just let this ambulance past. The amount of groups that have popped up in the last, say, 24 months should really have been a sign that people have just had enough, and people have got no trust whatsoever in the government bodies which are supposed to stop all this shit happening. Now, it's one of them, innit? I can have a chat, we can have discussions in the Muslim community, we can have discussions in the Sikh community, and so on and so on. Do you know what I mean? Patriot communities, whatever. But if the things that you find that you can actually agree on and stand together with, then nothing gets really built upon that, then you can't really, do you know what I mean? You can't really complain and be pissing and moaning now when Muslims are now all of a sudden being shown politically with political parties and whatever. We recognise the problem is coming from your community. We recognise the problem that the silent majority, which will probably be good people, do you know what I mean? Not good Muslims, but good people. A good Muslim is the type of person that cut Lee Rigby's head off. That's a good Muslim, not a good person. Now, we've seen Muslims coming away from the ideology, and we've seen the Muslims that was all loud and proud not so long ago. The white convert that was on, what's his name, Liam Tuff's show, he's doing a fair bit of backpedaling now, isn't he? And now all of a sudden it's, it's not looking good for the Muslims. It's like, no, it's not. It's really not. Now, because it's gone to the political level, and even parties like Tory or whatever, is it Kemi Badenoch or whatever? Do you know what I mean? It's not just one party, is it? All the parties are actually having to sort of at least say the right things at this moment in time. Whether anything will get done that way, I don't know. But like I say, I don't think people really care. People are putting their hopes into parties like Reform at the moment, only because Restore is not covering all the areas and whatever. Other than that, give it time, and all those people that are voting Reform now will be voting Restore, and there is going to be measures put in place, and the end result is Muslims are not going to be welcome in the UK. Now, that's a shame for the decent majority, you know what I mean, the decent people which happen to be Muslim. the majority, it's going to affect them as well. Do you know what I mean? So the predicament people are finding themselves in right now, you can only look inwardly and think, well, did I do enough? Could have actually changed things somewhat, could have actually done productive things instead of just, oh, Tommy Robinson, blah blah blah, fucking, do you know what I mean? It's not the be all and end all. It's just another example of people pointing the fingers and coming out with all the hate campaigns and the bullshit and whatever, just to discredit the people which are actually pointing at the problems, highlighting the problems. Now, it's one of them, innit? I've been doing this for a long time. Since I came away from the Tommy Robinson movement and all that side of things and whatnot, well over 3 years ago, since I came away from all that, my focus has been literally on having the open, honest discussions with the intention of finding a middle ground and building on that middle ground. Now, anything could have evolved from that. You know what I mean? We could have a movement. We could have a movement now from all that time ago, where people from all different races and cultures and ideologies and whatever, the decent people from them cultures and communities, could have actually banded together and we could have a totally different movement in the mix. People that are actually willing to have the open, honest conversations and look to how we would lawfully deal with these problems. Now, we've got people around that would facilitate that happening. We've got common law groups, we've got Article 61, we've got fucking lawful rebellion, we've got our constitution movement. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we're not able to deal with these problems. We were able to deal with these problems. Now, like Tom Prophet said the other night, Phantom Tom, there was a time and a place, and I think we've missed that opportunity. Now, like he said, things are gonna get, do you know what I mean? They're gonna get a hell of a lot worse. They're gonna get very messy. I think we're gonna be looking at civil unrest. I think we're gonna be looking at civil war. Things are gonna get very fucking messy. But the lawful solutions, they'll be there, waiting for all this shit show to happen and whatnot. And when we are all desperate for a lawful solution, then maybe we can go back over him. The lawful solutions have been pushed for, at least 15 years that I know of. But yet they've been ignored by people like Tommy Robinson and whatever. So everyone's got a part to play. It's no good just ringing the fucking alarm bell if you've not got a solution in hand. And to ignore that is to everybody's detriment. Do you know what I mean? Now, like I say, everyone's got a part to play with that. I've done what I can. Do you know what I mean? I'm only fucking one person. I'm not in a big fucking group out. Not got a big following and this, that and the other. The people that have and are aware of these things and have ignored it anyway for the sake of just grifting the shit out of things, like I say, you played your part. For the people that have ignored these things, you know what I mean? You've painted us into this corner that we're now in. People are going to have to fight for what they want. I'm not encouraging anybody to fight or do this, do that, whatever. But you can just see the natural progression of things, where it's headed. nobody can deny these things. Do you know what I mean? A lot of problems that we're going to encounter, and it's going to affect everybody. It doesn't matter what community you're from. It's going to affect all these problems, all these communities. And people's egos and fucking cult mentality and this, that and the other. And I'm not just on about the Muslim community. It's fucking rife in the Patriot community. Do you know what I mean? We've all like had opportunity to take it a different route. Now if people want to ignore that and whatever, all I can say is I hope you're fit and strong and ready for what's to come. Do you know what I mean? For the keyboard warriors that are just quite happy sat on the couch criticising anything and everything that people do, especially people like myself or whatever, which, do you know what I mean? I've been around all the components of these movements. I've supported what I can along the way, which has been a hell of a lot. And then you get people that sat on their armchairs that have literally done fuck all for the whole time they've been around. Do you know what I mean? They're the ones like, oh, you know, trying to belittle anything that you've done. Oh, what, you've handed some leaflets out. Well, what the fuck have you done? Do you know what I mean? What the fuck have these absolute gobshites ever done? Oh, you turned up to an event. Well done. Oh, it was on your doorstep. All right, okay. So you didn't put that much effort in. Now, when you've had people like Kaylee travelling 7 hours to go to Telford, it's one of them, innit? Let's hold the comparison mirror up. Do you know what I mean? But this one's running around, this fat gobshite's running around like she's the ultimate patriot or whatever. It's done fuck all. The things it has done has just caused more problems, more divide, more racial tension than anybody else I know. But that, you know what I mean? That's like the main source of fucking criticism. Now, I can take constructive criticism, no problem. Do you know what I mean? It's helpful. But that's not what you receive, is it? So, yeah. For me personally, like I've said, for the last however many years, just work on your fitness, work on getting fit and strong and whatever, and prepare for what comes next, because it's one of them, isn't it? Do we want to leave this for our children and future generations to deal with? I don't intend to. No intention of whatsoever. What comes next? It just is what it is. The end result is going to be the same regardless, whichever way it goes, whether it's political, whether it's people losing the shit, spikes of violence, fucking etc, etc. Do you know what I mean? The end result is going to be, it's not going to be any different realistically now, at this point in time. The opportunity to change the outcome of these things, I think Phantom Tom's right. I think we've missed that opportunity. Now, for those that have gone against everything decent, for those that have been criticising the people that are actually highlighting the problems and trying to bring lawful solutions to the table, then the blame realistically solely lies with you people. And yeah, it'll be on those people to reason their actions to the people around them, their communities and whatnot. It never had to go the way that it is right now, but there is no change in things. There's no rewind option. There's no redo. Do you know what I mean? And I've been trying to warn people for a long time. This is what's going to happen. Fucking Stevie Wonder could see this happening. and turning out the way it's fucking turning out now. Now, I think, to be honest, over the forthcoming months and the build up to the actual real election, the general election, Muslims are going to become more uncomfortable, feel like they're at threat more. You've heard back Becca saying that she felt not safe here, all the flags being put up, and yeah, apparently people had said stuff to her, or I don't even think people said things to her. I think she just likes to be able to read people's thoughts or something along the way. Now, if Becca's white and she feels unsafe getting about in a fucking head covering and all that sort of thing, for the brown people that happen to be Muslim, it's going to be 10 times worse. I mean, for me, Becca always had the option of, well, you know, I can still be a Muslim, but I don't have to wear this get-up. There's nowhere in the ideology that states that you have to wear this shit. Do you know what I mean? It's become a Islamic political statement more than anything. It definitely doesn't say anything within that ideology that you have to wear that shit. So she could have always just gone, oh well, you know, times are a bit troubling and whatever at the moment, so I'm not gonna do that, but I'm gonna remain a Muslim, and, you know, more inwardly than outwardly, instead of trying to make a Islamic political statement, which that's all it is. But yeah, she's chose to leave the country and gone to Morocco. Now, Morocco, do you know what I mean? That weren't always Muslim. The people that was there originally was very tall white people with ginger hair, red hair, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? These things are relevant. The amount of countries that are now Muslim was never Muslim before. So we can see, do you know what I mean? When these things get left and nobody addresses them and whatnot, then countries get took over and turned into Muslim countries. Now, there's 1450 years of evidence to not even suggest, to actually show you what Islam is, what Islam brings, and what it will mean to the people of that country. Now, we've woke up, in my mind, at the right point in time. We can make change. The changes are not going to suit everybody, but we don't need the changes to suit everybody. This is our fucking country. It's our it's our families and whatnot, generations of families that have fought wars for this. Do you know what I mean? Fought and died for this fucking country. The people that are coming here now, compared to the immigrants that came a long time ago, are miles apart. They're totally different sets of people. But we can't determine who's here for the right reasons and who's putting into the country and who's here just to milk the shit out of the country. The rape epidemic, people are blaming, it's the people on the boats. Yeah, they're adding to the problem, 100%. But the rape gangs that are already documented and whatnot for the last 40 years plus, they're all people that came here. They're all people that came here, was given opportunity to come here, build a better life and whatever, and they ended up raping all the fucking children. So, for me, honestly, I'm just being honest, I couldn't care less millions do have to leave, and if the people that are left here, well, it's going to be a mix. It's going to be a mix of people, isn't it? You can have people that say, no, well, you know, I'm a good person, I'm putting into the country, I work, this, that and the other, so I don't need to go. People like Lubna and whatnot, but then they're going to be mixed in with the people that have stayed here to commit acts of terrorism, to act out jihad and whatnot. So we're not in a position where we can tell one good one from one bad one. So it's going to be a blanket coverage of all of them. They're going to be treated the same, unfortunately, and that's going to